Good evening, everybody. This is the Bumpkin in Chief. Today is Saturday, the 10th of October 2011, and we're back to discuss some more topics which we feel are important in the day and time in which we live. And this one is why Mr. Obama's presidency is a failed presidency. We can make a statement and then we're going to back it up with what actually has happened to support that statement. A lot of people in the day and time in which we live, things happen and they fly on by and they just get a look at them, but they don't really have an opportunity to make an analysis. Well, that's what I'm here for. Um, Looking at these things and get pieces of the puzzle, and you find out what's really going on. We try to give you a perspective that you're not going to get anywhere else. Mr. Obama is, it's incredible to us that anybody that has the internal conflicts that this man has could actually be president of the United States. Uh, when we say conflicts, what we mean is that at Mr. Obama's core, he's been steeped and he's been inculcated with a Marxist, communist, socialistic philosophy. That's what he's learned from his youth up, and that's what he is at core. And actually, what he's trying to do, he's trying to appease some voters, and he's trying at times to appear not to be what he is. And of course, that's going to be a conflict. You take a dog, and we used to have one that we would bathe him because he would get pretty smelly. And his nature was that he wanted to root around in manure, and we would bathe him, and you would turn him loose. And what would he do? He would run to the smelliest thing he could find and roll around in it and rub in it so that he could mask the human scent and the scent of some soap or shampoo, because if he didn't do that, he couldn't catch other little animals, which was part of his nature as a hunter. And fortunately, he was true to his nature and didn't have the conflict, because if he did, he would run one way and turn around and run the other way, and then run the other way, and then run the other way, and he would never do what his nature would he was bred to do, and that would be to catch little animals like rats and groundhogs and raccoons and different things. We're talking about somebody that would be like a farm dog, would take care of those little critters and keep them out of the feed. This is what Mr. Obama is. He's someone. George Bush was running the train down the track. Uh, George Bush was a socialist. He was a good-natured man, a wonderful human being, but he had these socialist principles, and he's got the train of the United States government going down that track, or taking it further down that track, we'll say. And when he got off, Engineer Obama got on, and now Engineer Obama's going a half mile this way, and then he's backing up a mile that way, and then he's going back forward another mile, and then he's backing up a quarter of a mile, and as a result, we're not getting anywhere. That's why his presidency is an abject failure, because he is very conflicted. Let's give you some examples. Mr. Obama said that we don't need to continue the failed policies of the past. And in his speeches, he continues to say that these failed policies were primarily from 2000 to 2008, which, guess what? It's Mr. Bush's presidency. So he says we don't need to follow those policies, and he's done nothing but follow those policies. Let's review some of these things. Guantanamo Bay uh, happened under the George W. Bush administration. Where is it today? Still there, still going, no change. The TARP bailout and the stimulus, where did those originate? In the Bush administration. What did Mr. Obama do? He continued those policies. Hey, when you're the engineer of the train and you get on, the throttle's in your hand. If you don't like those policies, you're supposed to put the brakes on. Mr. Obama didn't do that. He followed through with it, with both of those. The Bush tax cuts. What did Mr. Obama do? He continued the Bush policies and signed an extension of the Bush tax cuts, the Bush policies. The failed policies of the past, according to Mr. Obama, are still intact, and he's still using them. They're still in force, still going on. The Solyndra deal that many of us have heard about, where the federal government, the Obama administration in particular, up to their eyeballs in this, loaned around $500 million to a company, Solyndra, green products company, producing products nobody wanted, filed bankruptcy, went out of business, and that $500 million, where did it go? Well, the executives of the company are taking the Fifth Amendment so that they won't have to incriminate themselves before Congress. What does the mainstream media tell us? This was begun in George Bush's administration. Wait a minute, that's a failed policy of the past. Why is the Obama administration, why did they continue it? And why did they let this money go to this company? Conflicted, a failed presidency. It's everywhere, fast and furious. The Justice Department funnels firearms to Mexican drug cartels. One of the firearms is found to be used in the killing of a United States Border Patrol agent. Again, up to their eyeballs in this. The Attorney General on the hot seat for this. Someone somewhere has to be guilty of negligent manslaughter, negligent homicide, something for providing the weapon that killed the Border Patrol agent. And I'm not a lawyer, and I don't know who it would be, but there has to be somebody that's negligent in this. Okay, again, the mainstream media, we find out that this program has roots in the Bush administration. If this is a failed policy of the past, why is the Obama administration continuing this? Why did it continue it? If it wasn't right, they could very easily have stopped it, and so on and so forth. Mr. Obama, he said in 2007, the ultimate goal is a single-payer health care system. And then he turns around and he says, no, that was never our intention. And now we find out that it is conflict. Mr. Obama, the individual mandate in Obamacare to buy, every American has to purchase health care insurance if they don't have it. At first, it was not a tax. No, this is not a tax. This is a regulation. And then when there were questions raised about the constitutionality of Obamacare, all of a sudden, no, it's a tax. It is a tax. Conflict. Mr. Obama is extremely conflicted. You look at his positions on taxation. He said we can't raise taxes during a recession. And now what does he want to do? That's all it's about, is raising taxes during a recession. Mr. Obama is continually doing the turnabout and conflicting. He says he's a big proponent of the free market, but yet he says now is not the time for profits. Now is not the time for small business to actually generate money to reinvest in itself so that it can grow. Mr. Obama says now is not the time for profits, and yet he's a proponent of the free market. And many other examples of the conflicts between his communist, Marxist upbringing and philosophy and the way America does business. this is why his presidency is a failure. It's not because of anything anybody else has done. It's because of the conflicts that are within this individual. Thanks for watching. Let me know what you think.